Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make breakfast pinwheels. These can be eaten for breakfast, but they can also be eaten for lunch, for dinner, whenever you like breakfast. We're big breakfast for dinner people, yes. All right, so I've got my oven preheating at 425 degrees, and I'm going to lay out my bacon on a sheet pan. Now my sheet pan has a big lip around it that will keep the grease from the bacon from dripping into your oven. And then I've lined it with some parchment paper. 8 pieces of bacon will be fine for this recipe. We're going to pop this in the oven for about 15 to 18 minutes until you get that desired crispness of your bacon. See, we're going to need about 8 pieces. I think we'll just do the 8 right here. Now, this recipe calls for cooked breakfast meat. So if you're using bacon, you want to make sure that it's nice and crisp. If you're using sausage, you want to make sure that it is cooked through. Now, if you're using ham, that's totally fine because it'll heat up in the oven inside of our pinwheels. I'm going to go ahead and get this in since this takes the longest, and then we're going to go ahead and start making our eggs. While the bacon is cooking, we're going to go ahead and start making our scrambled eggs for this because you do want your eggs cooked. What I'm going to do is turn a skillet on a medium-high heat, get that going. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of butter. And you want to bring that to a sizzle. Now, y'all, let me tell you, this butter dish is always empty. I put butter in there, it gets nice and soft and stays soft. My toast or anything like that, and it's gone all the time because everybody in the house likes it too. But do you have people that don't fill up butter containers when they finish it up in there? Yeah, we have that. All right, in a medium bowl, we're going to crack 8 eggs. Whew. Yeah, we're going to do that really quick too because the butter's melting. Might be doing these 2 at a time. Oh, I got 4, 5, 6, and 7. There we go. Take all these out of here. A little bit of salt. About 1/8 of a teaspoon is good. Some black pepper. Ooh, I like to flavor my eggs with a little bit of onion powder, just right across the top, just a little bit. Don't overpower it. Some garlic powder. Very little, just a pinch, or 1/8 of a teaspoon. All right, let's go in with our egg beater, or a whisk, or a fork, whatever you got. All right, I don't add milk to my scrambled eggs when I'm making this recipe because we're going to cook these eggs until they're almost done. That way they finish cooking in the oven. I don't want them too moist. All right, we're ready to add our eggs into our pan with the hot butter. There we go. We're going to let it set around the sides for just a minute. And just take your spatula, just pull the eggs into the center. Let them set again, and then just keep doing that until you have a lot of cooked egg right in the center. All right, that looks good. We're going to turn off the burner. Take them off the heat, then we'll just let them sit there for just a minute while we start preparing the pinwheels. We're going to go ahead now and start rolling our pinwheels. I am using an 8-ounce tube of crescent roll dough. This is in the sheet form, so it's solid, not the triangles. I find that when you're doing pinwheels and you're rolling crescent roll dough, the sheet form is much better, works better. But if you're using the triangles, make sure you seal those edges and perforated edges really good. so they don't pop open on you. All right, so I'm just going to be using a clean work surface. Open up my dough. We're going to put a little bit of flour on our work surface and just spread that around. That'll help prevent the dough from sticking. Now make sure it's a thin layer. You don't want too much flour on the board. Take off the excess. All right, we're going to place our dough sheet right on our work surface. We're going to find where it opens and roll it out. Very carefully. Now I'm just going to take my rolling pin, just flour it a little bit. We're going to even out our rectangle. Just spread it out a little bit. Now you don't want it too thin, so just roll it out about one time on each side. All right, we're going to start with a layer of our eggs. Now you want to make sure you've cooled these down somewhat, that way it doesn't make the dough gummy. So I'm just going to make one layer across our dough. I'm going to leave a 1-inch border without eggs. And if you have extra eggs, that's fine. You don't need to put it on there. You can just serve it up with your pinwheels. Y'all are going to be mad at me for that. I didn't give him a piece of egg, huh? Here you go.
Yay, thank you.
He likes that egg with the garlic and onion powder. Yeah, that's his favorite. Flavor them up, you guys. Okay, this looks really good right here. All right, now we're going to take our delicious bacon. You want to make sure that's kind of cooled down and drained. Put it right here. Just break it into pieces all over the egg. All right, are y'all team bacon, team sausage, or are you team ham?
I'm team all three.
He is. I should have done like a pizza, huh?
Yep.
I don't know if there can be enough room in there for that.
Probably not.
That's it for that, and then we're going to take some shredded cheese. Let's move the board over here a little bit so you can see. Sprinkle it all on top. This is a sharp cheddar. Okay, now what we're going to do is roll this. And what we want to do is start on the long end towards you. Just pick up the dough, pull it over. You're going to wish you had 4 hands for this. And then we're just going to keep rolling. Keep it tight so you have a pinwheel shape. All right, and be careful. There we go. That's why I love that dough sheet. Make sure before we start cutting our pinwheels that you have your pan ready to go. Now I'm using an 11 by 18 sheet pan, and I just lined it with some parchment paper. Now we're going to cut our pinwheels. You can either use a bread knife, some dental floss. Now you want to make sure that you have the original. You don't want minty on your pinwheels. Or you can use your pastry scraper and cut straight through. But okay, let's go ahead and get started cutting our pinwheels. All right, the first cut I'm going to show you with the dental floss. Just cut a good sized portion. We're going to go up underneath all the way to the middle, right there. Now what you want to do is cross your thread and then cut really fast, just like that. And you have a good cut. Now, you can also use your bread knife, and we're going to cut this in half. You can use your pastry scraper. You can put it right here and then just drive down really quick. There you go. I'm going to cut off the end right here. What we're going to do, start taking them and placing them on our sheet pan that you've prepared. That way you can see all the layers. Now these aren't quite big, but the dough is thin, so it'll cook nice and even. Smash it down a little bit. Now make sure you give these room to grow. So give some space. Ah, look at that. I've got my oven preheated at 375 degrees. We're going to bake these for about 11 to 13 minutes. Now make sure that your crescents are cooked through nice and brown. I'm going to be back. Okay, we pulled these out of the oven. It took about 15 minutes to get to this right here. It's nice and golden brown on the bottom of them. Oh, they look delicious. Makes your house smell delicious for breakfast or maybe a dinner. I'm just putting on some green chives. Give it another pop of color. My breakfast crescent pinwheels. What a fun way to make crescents, eggs, and bacon and put them together in a pinwheel. And you know, breakfast is not just for breakfast. You can have these for lunch. You can make these for dinner, which is how we like them. All right, y'all, that is delicious. Holds everything in a nice little pocket. Give me a thumbs up on this one. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and that bell notification. That way, you'll always know when shows like this one here are posted. I'll see y'all on the next episode.